The Marine Toys for Tots foster care program is bringing hope to children who need it most. Every 2 minutes, a child enters foster care, often with only a small bag of belongings. More than 400,000 children face trauma and uncertainty, many before age 8. This May, during Foster Care Awareness Month, Toys for Tots is creating Room for Joy. In 2025, nearly 375,000 children received comfort through toys, books, and essentials, reminding them they are not alone. Donate now and change a child's life.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Live long and prosper. Well, with us today is Dr. Peter Michalos. Well, Dr. Peter, what tips do you have today so our listeners can live longer?
Well, today, John, we're going to talk about something extremely important, and that's the importance of clean water for longevity and health span. We all know that 60% of our body is made up of water, and water, without it, guess what? In 3 to 4 days without water, we die. And maximum, some people can last if they're in a cooler environment and not active, maybe a week. But we need water for life. And what does water do for us? It's part of our temperature control system. It's part of our waste removal system through our kidneys. And we need it for many of the cell reactions that occur in our cell function. And we also need it for our intestinal tract to keep things moving along and processing waste material. Now, what's happened with water is we have to understand there are differences. Not all water is the same. And clean water is basically defined as water free from contaminants, pathogens, viruses, bacteria, harmful chemicals, making it safe for human consumption. And longevity refers to the length of life, while health span is the period in which an individual stays healthy. And there's a relationship between clean water, both longevity and health span, and it's increasingly recognized. And a study was done in the Lancet Global Health in 2023, and they found that countries that found that they could improve the water quality in those countries, it was associated with a significant reduction in all-cause mortality, meaning death, and particularly among children and older adults. And what they found is the blue zones where people live a long time, the regions known for their high concentration of centenarians, people who make it to 100, they often feature cleaner, more natural drinking water, and a lot of it tends to be mountain water because that has less pollutants, less contaminants. And this water is typically local. It contains fewer chemicals. It's rich in minerals, things like lithium orotate, which has been found to play a role in Alzheimer's. And this water is considered vital for longevity, and they've observed that these waters have less chemicals in it, and they have more natural minerals. And for example, in Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, home to many centenarians, the water emerges naturally from the earth, and it provides high levels of calcium and magnesium, and that supports for stronger bones, heart function, and better blood pressure. And additionally, the blue zones experience less chemical treatment in their water compared to urban environments, which often depend on heavy chlorination and fluoride. And one of the concerns is that chloride, even though it's good, it kills a lot of germs and bacteria, but it also probably kills some of the good bacteria in our gut. And chlorinated water does affect our gut microbiome. Just like
because the water is chlorinated and they added the extra chemicals, it kills the bacteria in your stomach that does the good stuff and breaks down the food.
Right, well, yeah, it doesn't kill all of them, but it definitely, they've done studies where they've shown that it alters the microbiome to a certain. That's why sometimes when you get water out of the sink, if you use a tabletop filter like we talked about, I use one with a glass container, and it also takes out some of the chlorine. So at the point of drinking, if you can take out some of the chlorine, it's probably better for your gut microbiome, but more research is yet to be done on that. And these areas that are centenarians, they tend to consume a lot more water. The same thing in Loma Linda, California, the Seventh-day Adventists, they're known to drink as many as 7 glasses of water each day. And the founder of the Blue Zones, Dan Buettner from the National Geographic, he stated that clean water is the best longevity beverage available.
Now, let me ask you a question. You know, we all drank a lot of plastic water, which is not good for you because of the plastic. Now I'm drinking a lot of water in glass, which is supposed to be better for you. And but it turns out that some of the waters in glass has arsenic in it. So
from well, usually the ones from well water, and the other one thing is when you open and close the plastic bottle top on the glass bottles, those plastic linings and the caps, they're loaded with microplastics. So every time you screw it on and off, you're also releasing some microplastic, and that's why I use a user-end tabletop filter, even for my bottled water at home, for the ones that I use for consuming to drink.
Wow. Now, in addition, let me ask you a silly question. Rainwater, is that the purest water that you can get?
Well, up in the mountains it is, but if you're in a polluted area, the water has to travel through the clouded pollution and the clouds, so it picks up a lot of the chemicals that are in the contaminated clouds. So if you're in some areas of the world that have heavy industrial areas around them, that rainwater wouldn't be.
So in reality, the best water has to be the absolutely pure water that comes out of rainwater from an area where there's no pollutants.
Well, that's where a lot of the great waters that exist come out of mountain spring water, because it rains up in the mountains, it's collected, it's filtered. There's no one doing
but once it becomes spring water, it goes through the brooks and the streams where it can pick up minerals.
Exactly. That's where mineral-rich water is found in the blue zones like Sardinia, Italy, Okinawa, Japan, and Ikaria. It comes from the mountain springs, and that's why Greece is noted for its high mineral content water, minimal presence of chemical, especially forever chemicals and pesticides. So some of the Greek mineral water is some of the best in the world, too, and some of it from France, and those are popular.
Well, you have a good idea there. If there's some real good Greek water, we should import it and sell it to New Yorkers.
Well, absolutely. Well, when you go into a lot of restaurants, if you notice in Manhattan, a lot of the water either comes from either French mountains, or a lot of it comes from Greek mountains. But it's very important to have clean water for all the chemical reactions in our body, also to keep our blood thin, less heart attacks and strokes, because when we're dehydrated, our blood runs thicker. So water is the elixir of life, and that's why we talk about it here on the Cats Roundtable. For more health tips, keep listening to the Cats Roundtable, and we have a lot more things happening. I dedicated an entire chapter on water in the new book that we're coming out with, The Death of Aging, and at Death of Aging at X and TikTok. And
when is the book coming out?
The importance of water.
When is the book coming out?
It's going to be Memorial Day.
All right, we're going to give you a big book party.
All right, thank you, John, for always getting the truth out on the Cats Roundtable.
Sacco and Felix, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFilas.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.